Most car mods are trash that drain your wallet, but 20 of them will transform your ride completely. I'm talking real-world, tested upgrades that deliver power you can feel, MPG you can count, and performance that sticks. But here's the kicker. 6 popular mods will destroy your engine faster than you can say dyno. One amateur mistake cost a guy his entire motor and a $6,500 rebuild. I've seen turbos melt, pistons crack, and ECUs fry from these engine killers. Stick around because the most dangerous one might already be in your cart. Number 1. ECU Remap, the ultimate engine brain surgery. An ECU remap is the ultimate engine brain surgery. My buddy Jake had a bone stock 2018 Honda Accord that couldn't outrun a shopping cart. Then he got an ECU tune. 2 weeks later, he's gapping BMW 330i's at red lights and laughing about it. The car felt like someone swapped the engine overnight, but all they did was rewrite the computer code. Here's what most people don't know. Your factory ECU is programmed to play it safe. The engineers build in massive safety margins for emissions compliance, warranty protection, and smooth operation for drivers who never push past 3,000 RPM. Your engine can handle way more timing advance, leaner fuel mixtures, and higher boost levels than the stock tune allows. The ECU tune unlocks that hidden potential. A proper remap rewrites the fuel maps, timing curves, and boost parameters to match what your engine actually needs for maximum performance. We're talking noticeable gains on stock engines and significantly more on boosted cars. Gains vary by platform and supporting mods. The throttle response becomes instant, the power delivery smooths out, and fuel economy often improves because the engine runs more efficiently. But here's the critical part. Never use cheap tune files from sketchy websites or $50 flash tools. Use proven platforms like HP tuners for many GM, Ford, Dodge platforms, Cobb for supported Subaru, Mazda, Ford models, and get a dyno tune when possible. Those generic maps can destroy your engine faster than you think. Now they've unlocked more power, your engine needs to breathe properly to use it. Number 2, cold air intake, the instant transformation mod. The first time you floor it with a cold air intake, the hesitation is gone and the engine pulls harder from low RPM to redline. Cold air is denser than the hot garbage your engine was breathing from the engine bay. Dense air packs more oxygen molecules, and more oxygen means better combustion and real power gains. Most people think cold air intakes are just expensive noisemakers that sound cool but do nothing. That's dead wrong when you buy the right one and install it properly. The key is getting truly cold air from outside the engine bay, not just relocating the filter to suck up the same hot air from a different spot. Installation matters more than the brand name. Ensure the intake draws from outside the engine bay. Use a heat shield and keep the MAF where the manufacturer expects it, or your AFRs will go haywire. The intake tube needs proper heat shielding and must draw air from outside the engine compartment. Skip the generic eBay pipes. They leak and crack. This is a relatively affordable bolt-on with real throttle response gains if installed properly. Quality systems from AEM, InGen, and K&N that test their designs deliver solid results. A 6th-gen Camaro gained 10 to 15 horsepower at the wheels with a properly designed system paired with a tune. Gains depend on design and whether it's paired with a tune, but getting more air in is only half the equation. Your exhaust system might be choking off those gains. Number 3, high-flow catalytic converter, the legal power hack. A restrictive stock cat can cost measurable power, and a high-flow cat can recover up to roughly 10 to 20 horsepower in some cases. Factory cats are built to be bulletproof for 150,000 miles, not to flow exhaust gases efficiently. The good news is you can fix this without breaking emissions laws. High-flow catalytic converters walk the line between performance and legal compliance. They use the same precious metals as stock units, but rework the substrate to reduce back pressure while keeping the catalytic materials that cut emissions. This design maintains emissions control while letting exhaust gases escape faster. Stock cats use thick ceramic honeycomb cores that create massive back pressure. High-flow units use metallic substrates or larger cell ceramic cores that cut back pressure in half. The O2 sensors still read properly so your ECU stays happy and you can still pass emissions checks. Choose a high-flow cat that meets emissions laws in your area. Some designs maintain proper O2 sensor readings so you pass emissions testing. If your system uses flanges, it's usually bolt-on. Welded systems need a professional shop. MagnaFlow and other proven manufacturers build cats that deliver those 10 to 20 horsepower gains, plus a deeper, more aggressive exhaust note. Your engine breathes easier and sounds better doing it, but even the best cat won't help if the rest of your exhaust system is working against you. Number 4, Performance Exhaust, the triple threat upgrade. Stock systems often prioritize quietness over flow, choking power with crushed pipes and restrictive mufflers. A proper performance exhaust transforms your engine into a breathing machine that makes real power while sounding incredible. A proper performance exhaust transforms your engine into a breathing machine that makes real power while sounding incredible. Exhaust design affects way more than noise. Poor back pressure kills horsepower and hurts fuel economy. Smart exhaust design uses scavenging effects, where fast-moving exhaust gases help pull fresh air into the cylinders. This creates a natural supercharging effect that factory systems completely ignore. Pipe diameter matters more than you think. Too small chokes the engine at high RPM. But don't oversize the pipe. Too large kills low-end torque and destroys velocity. The sweet spot varies by engine size and power output. Mandrel bent tubes maintain consistent diameter through curves, while crush bent factory pipes create restrictions. Quality systems use mandrel bent stainless construction and quality welds with strategic resonator placement. Keep resonators unless you hate long drives, otherwise you'll get cabin drone. Cheap systems rust out and sound terrible after 6 months. Borla ATA-K systems deliver aggressive sound with proven power gains. Corsa builds sophisticated systems that sound stock at idle but roar under acceleration. AWE Tuning offers complete systems with dyno-proven results. Paired with a tune and appropriately sized piping, many systems show measured gains of 10 to 18 horsepower, but all that extra airflow won't help if your intake temperatures are cooking your power potential. Number 5, Upgraded Intercooler, the turbo engine's best friend. Turbo engines need cold, dense air to make serious power, and upgraded intercoolers deliver exactly that. Hot intake air kills horsepower and invites engine knock. Every degree matters when you're pushing boost through your turbo engine. Stock intercoolers work fine for grocery runs, but heat soak destroys performance when you're driving hard. For every 10-degree drop in intake air temperature, you gain real horsepower. Cooler air is denser air, and dense air makes more power. Stock intercoolers can't handle sustained boost without heat building up. After 3 hard pulls, your power drops off a cliff because the intercooler can't cool the charge air fast enough. Top mounts spool faster, but heat soak quicker. Front mounts cool better, but can increase lag. Water to air is best at cooling, but heavy and complex. Size matters too. Bigger isn't always better if it kills boost response. Check pressure drop specs and fitment. A massive core that blocks radiator airflow or creates high pressure drop can hurt performance. Some intercoolers bolt in, others need piping and fabrication. Mishimoto, Wagner Tuning, and Garrett Motion build intercoolers that drop intake temps 40 to 60 degrees under load, while adding 15 to 25 horsepower, depending on ambient temps and setup. After cooling the charge, don't forget proper tuning. Intercoolers help power, but your ECU must be adjusted to exploit them. Of course, all these breathing mods start with one simple foundation upgrade that most people overlook. Number 6, High Flow Air Filter, the foundation mod that keeps giving. A good washable filter generally pays for itself over time versus disposable paper filters. Most drivers throw away hundreds of dollars on disposable filters without thinking about it. Reusable filters pay for themselves and keep delivering benefits. The throttle response improvement hits you immediately. Better airflow means cleaner combustion, and typically modest gains for daily drivers. I've seen 1 to 2 mile per gallon improvements on daily drivers just from swapping the air filter. Cotton gauze filters flow 30% more air than paper while still catching dirt effectively. Oiled cotton filters trap particles differently than dry media. The oil coating grabs contaminants without blocking airflow. Synthetic dry filters use dense fibers that filter without oil but flow slightly less air. Both work better than paper. Maintenance mistakes kill MAF sensors fast. Clean per manufacturer directions, let fully dry, and don't over-oil. Clean filters every 25,000 miles with proper cleaning kits, not household cleaners. Too much filter oil creates problems that foul your MAF sensor. K&N pioneered reusable filters and still builds the best ones. AEM Dry Flow eliminates oil mess entirely. S&B filters offer excellent filtration with strong construction that lasts decades. Choose proven brands over cheap online knockoffs, but even the best air filter won't help if your combustion system isn't firing efficiently. Number 7. Performance spark plugs, the combustion catalyst. Spark plugs control the combustion event that turns fuel into power. Worn spark plugs kill combustion efficiency and waste fuel every single mile you drive. Stock plugs work fine for 30,000 miles, then they're done. The electrodes wear down, the gap widens, and the spark gets weaker. Premium performance plugs fix this problem and deliver better combustion from day one. Iridium and platinum tips give a focused spark and longer life, the practical choice for modern or modified engines. These materials last significantly longer than basic copper plugs and are common choices for longevity. The fine electrode tips focus spark energy better than thick copper cores, creating more consistent ignition under all conditions. Heat range selection matters more on modified engines. Too cold, and the plugs foul with carbon deposits. Too hot, and they cause pre-ignition that destroys pistons. Boosted engines typically run colder plug heat ranges to avoid pre-ignition. Consult your tuner or OEM spec when changing plugs. Naturally aspirated builds can run hotter plugs for better idle quality. Under boost, many builders run slightly tighter gaps to prevent misfires, but always retune after changes. NGK and Denso build plugs that handle serious power while maintaining reliability. Quality plugs create the foundation for clean combustion, but they need adequate fuel delivery to complete the equation. Number 8. Upgraded fuel injectors, feeding the beast properly. Stock injectors can't keep up when you're pushing serious power. Fuel starvation kills engines faster than anything else. When your injectors can't deliver enough fuel under boost or high RPM, the engine runs lean and melts pistons in seconds. Stock injectors are sized for factory power levels, not the extra demands of performance modifications. Push more air without more fuel, and your engine becomes scrap metal. Injector sizing creates a tough balance. Too small, and you hit the fuel delivery ceiling early. Too big, and your engine idles rough because the injectors can't pulse short enough for smooth operation. Keep injectors under 80% duty cycle at peak power, or you're asking for trouble. That's your safety margin. Choose quality injectors with good atomization. Accurate flow rates matter as much as total flow. Poor spray patterns create uneven fuel distribution and hot spots that cause knock. For example, a WRX we worked on hit fuel cut until ID 1000s and a Walbro pump were installed. After that, it pulled clean to redline. Never install bigger injectors or pumps without a professional retune. The ECU won't automatically compensate, and you'll risk lean conditions that destroy engines fast. Injector Dynamics and Bosch build injectors that flow accurately and spray consistently. They cost more, but unlock real power safely when tuned properly. But all that extra power means nothing if you can't control it properly when it matters most. Number 9. Short Shifter Kit, the driver connection upgrade. That control starts with your shifter. Stock shifters often feel vague. A short shifter tightens throws and improves shift speed. The throws are sloppy, the gates are vague, and you miss gears when you're pushing hard. A quality short shifter cuts throw distance in half and transforms shifting into a precision operation. Every gear change becomes crisp, direct, and satisfying. Shorter throws mean faster shifts during aggressive driving. Instead of moving your hand 6 inches between gears, you move it 3. That translates to quicker acceleration and better control when you're attacking corners or making passes. The mechanical advantage also reduces the effort needed to shift so your hand doesn't get tired during long drives. Installation matters more than the kit itself. Cheap bushings kill precision. Buy kits with upgraded bushings and solid linkage hardware, or your shifts will still feel sloppy. Quality kits include upgraded bushings, solid linkage components, and proper hardware that eliminates play in the system. Some designs increase shift effort to improve precision. Expect a firmer feel and possibly more effort at highway shifts. That's the trade-off for razor-sharp gear changes. B&M builds proven shifters for muscle cars and trucks. Hurst offers performance shifters with legendary durability. OEM Plus options exist for those who want improved feel without losing daily drivability. If you want sharper, more satisfying shifts, even on a budget, this is a high-value mod. But precise shifts mean nothing if you can't stop when things get serious. Number 10. Performance brake pads, the confidence multiplier. Performance brake pads give you the stopping power to match your engine upgrades. Stock brake pads work fine for commuting, but fade fast under aggressive driving conditions. When brake fade hits during a canyon run or track day, your stopping power disappears and you're in serious danger. Performance pads fix this problem by handling heat better and maintaining consistent bite. Pick a pad rated for the temps you actually see: street, street/track, or full track. Organic compounds run quiet and generate less dust, but fade quickly under heat. Semi-metallic compounds handle higher temperatures and last longer, but create more noise and rotor wear. Ceramic compounds offer the best balance of performance, longevity, and cleanliness, but cost more up front. Operating temperature ranges separate good pads from great ones. Street pads work best between 200 to 800 degrees. Track pads need 400 to 1200 degrees to function properly. Use track pads on the street, and they'll be grabby and noisy when cold. If you only drive on the street, pick a street compound to avoid excessive noise and rotor wear. Follow bedding procedures to transfer pad material to the rotor. Skip this, and you don't get full stopping performance. EBC Red Stuff works great for spirited street driving. Hawk Performance builds serious track compounds. StopTech offers complete systems with proven stopping distance improvements. If you're modding power, don't neglect brakes. Better pads are cheap insurance when you actually need to stop, but even perfect braking won't help if your ignition system can't deliver the spark energy your modifications demand. Number 11. Upgraded coil packs, the spark intensity multiplier. Your ignition system controls whether all that extra air and fuel actually burns properly. Weak spark kills complete fuel burn and limits every other performance mod you install. Your coil packs determine how much voltage reaches the spark plugs, and stock coils barely deliver enough energy for factory setups. Add a cold air intake, performance exhaust, or ECU tune, and suddenly your ignition system becomes the bottleneck that holds everything back. Problem? Stock coils misfire under boost or high RPM. Modified engines create higher combustion chamber pressures that blow out weak sparks. Turbocharged applications make this worse because boost pressure fights against spark formation. Wider plug gaps need stronger coils to jump the distance reliably. Stock coils that worked fine at factory power levels start misfiring under boost or high RPM loads. Watch for these symptoms: stuttering during hard acceleration, rough idle after modifications, and misfires under load. Your engine management system throws codes and pulls timing to protect itself. All your other mods become worthless because the fuel isn't burning completely. Solution: direct fit high-energy coils from trusted brands. Check compatibility. Some aftermarket management systems require coils with specific trigger patterns or resistance values. MSD builds proven coils for serious power applications. AEM offers direct fit upgrades that bolt into factory locations. OEM upgraded coils provide reliable improvements without compatibility issues. Coils are a supporting mod that unlocks reliability and lets other mods reach their potential. If you've added intake, exhaust, or a tune, consider coils as a cost-effective reliability upgrade. But even perfect ignition won't protect your investment if you cheap out on the one thing that keeps everything lubricated. Number 12. Quality engine oil, the liquid insurance policy. A high-grade synthetic oil costs significantly more than basic oil. It's small compared to a rebuild. Engine rebuilds cost $6,300. Do the math. Cheap oil might save you $20 today, but it destroys bearings, clogs oil passages, and breaks down under heat. Modified engines make this problem worse because they run hotter, rev higher, and create more stress on every lubricated component. Performance modifications demand better oil protection. Cold air intakes and exhaust systems increase engine load. ECU tunes raise operating temperatures. Turbochargers create extreme heat that breaks down conventional oil in thousands of miles instead of the normal interval. Viscosity ratings matter more on modified engines. Thicker oil protects better under high loads, but flows poorly when cold. Thinner oil flows great, but offers less protection at temperature. Additive packages determine how well oil resists breakdown, prevents deposits, and maintains viscosity under stress. Turbocharged engines need oil that handles 300-degree temperatures without breaking down. High RPM naturally aspirated builds need oil that flows quickly to protect bearings during rapid acceleration. Shorten your oil change interval when you modify the engine. Many builders recommend roughly half the stock interval. Choose oil that handles high temps and resists breakdown, especially for turbo cars or high RPM NA engines. Mobile 1 works great for most applications. Royal Purple offers excellent protection for high-performance builds. Motul provides proven protection for track-driven cars. Spending more on oil and changing it more often is cheap insurance compared to a blown motor. But even the best oil can't fix problems created by restrictive factory components that most people never think about. Number 13. Performance air filter housing, completing the breathing system. A high-flow filter is only part of the story. If the stock airbox chokes the system, the gains vanish. Factory airboxes choke your engine with restrictions you can't see. The stock housing creates turbulence, limits filter surface area, and forces air through tight bends that kill flow. Upgrading to a performance air filter housing fixes these problems and completes your breathing system upgrade. Airbox volume determines how much air your filter can process, and small factory boxes restrict airflow even with high-flow filters installed. Inlet design matters just as much because sharp corners and narrow openings create turbulence that reduces effective airflow. Heat shielding becomes critical since hot engine bay air kills power. The housing must draw air from outside the engine compartment, not recirculate heated air. Larger filter surface area means less restriction and longer filter life. Performance housings fit bigger filters that flow more air without sacrificing filtration. Complete systems from AEM, K&N, and InGen optimize the entire intake path from outside air to throttle body. These are tested systems, not generic pipes. These designs eliminate restrictive factory components and create smooth airflow transitions. Ensure the housing draws from cold air, and that fitment may require brackets or trim to install properly. If you already invested in a high-flow filter, consider the housing only if you still feel restrictions. It's the next logical step. The combination delivers measurable power gains that single-component upgrades can't match. But breathing improvements only matter if your chassis can handle the extra performance when you're pushing hard through corners. Number 14. Strut Tower Brace, the chassis stiffening secret. Strut braces reduce chassis flex between suspension towers so your suspension geometry stays consistent under load. This sharpens steering and improves cornering. Your car's chassis flexes more than you think during hard cornering. Unibody construction saves weight but creates weak points where the suspension mounting points move under load. This chassis flex changes suspension geometry mid-corner and kills handling precision when you need it most. When the chassis flexes, your suspension components can't do their job properly because camber angles change, caster shifts, and toe settings go out the window. Your carefully tuned suspension becomes a mess of compromised geometry that hurts cornering performance and tire wear. Chassis rigidity directly affects how well your suspension works. A flexible chassis absorbs energy that should transfer to the suspension components. This makes your shocks and springs less effective and reduces feedback to the driver. Use existing mounting points and correct hardware to avoid stress concentration and potential damage. Mount the brace between the strut towers using existing bolt holes. Aluminum braces offer good strength with less weight than steel. The handling improvements become obvious during spirited driving. Steering response sharpens up, cornering feels more predictable, and the car tracks better through turns. Great mod for canyon runs and track days. Less noticeable in casual commute driving. Cusco, White Line, and Ultra Racing build quality braces that deliver real handling improvements. But not every modification delivers on its promises, and some can destroy your entire engine. Number 15. Cheap eBay turbo kits. The $6,300 disaster waiting to happen. One guy thought he scored with a $1,200 eBay turbo kit for his Civic. The listing showed dyno charts, professional photos, and promises of 200 extra horsepower. 6 months later, his engine was scrap metal, and he owed his mechanic $6,500 for a complete rebuild. This is the research-backed, cautionary example of what happens when you gamble with cheap boost. Cheap turbo kits hide massive costs behind that low price tag. The sequence is always the same. Cheap turbo bearing seize, create metal debris that scores cylinders, then oil seals fail. Result is catastrophic failure and multi-$1,000 rebuilds. The turbos use inferior bearings that seize under heat. The wastegates stick open or closed. The oil lines leak. The intercoolers crack under pressure. When the turbo bearings failed, metal fragments shot into the intake manifold and scored the cylinder walls. The oil seals gave up next, dumping oil into the exhaust and intake sides. His engine ran lean, knocked violently, and melted 2 pistons before he could shut it down. Budget kits ignore critical supporting modifications. If you can't afford the supporting fuel, intercooler, and tune, don't boost. When buying a turbo system, verify reputable turbo maker like Garrett, Borg-Warner, or Precision. Proper oil feed and return, supporting fuel and tune plan, and dyno tune support. But even quality turbo systems can fail if you make one common sizing mistake. Number 16. Oversized intercooler piping. The lag monster that kills response. That mistake involves piping size, and it's more common than you think. Bigger intercooler pipes seem like a no-brainer for more power, but they create throttle response problems that kill real-world performance. The problem is volume. Oversized piping holds way more air between the turbo and engine. When you hit the gas, the turbo has to fill all that extra space before boost reaches the cylinders. Air velocity matters more than raw cross-sectional area for transient response. Smaller pipes keep air moving fast, which helps maintain boost pressure and reduces lag. Oversized pipes let air slow down and lose momentum, creating dead spots in throttle response that make your car feel sluggish. The engineering balance between flow capacity and response time determines real-world performance. A system that flows great on paper can feel lazy if piping volume is excessive. That extra space creates a delay that makes your turbo setup feel unresponsive compared to properly sized piping. Smaller, well-designed piping often feels more responsive than oversized plumbing. Professional turbo system designers understand these dynamics and size piping for optimal response, not maximum flow potential. Trust experienced turbo system designers who size piping for your turbo and engine combination. For viewers considering custom systems, consult an experienced builder or dyno shop to choose piping, but some shortcuts promise to eliminate professional tuning entirely. Number 17. Universal Fuel Controllers, the ECU confusion creators. These controllers promise to bypass that complexity entirely. Universal fuel controllers look like the perfect shortcut to more power. Plug them in, dial up the fuel, and watch your car wake up. No expensive ECU tuning, no dyno time, no complicated software, just instant power gains. Sounds too good to be true because it is. These devices create chaos inside your engine management system. Your factory ECU spends years in development learning how to control fuel delivery precisely. Modern ECUs adjust fuel thousands of times per second using many sensors, while crude controllers dump blanket offsets and create unpredictable fuel delivery. Universal controllers ignore all that sophistication and force different fuel delivery on top of factory programming. The ECU tries to maintain proper air-fuel ratios, while the controller forces conflicting signals. This creates a battle between systems that confuses everything. Your engine runs rich in some conditions, lean in others, and unpredictably everywhere else. Factory safety systems get compromised when controllers override ECU programming. NOx sensors, oxygen sensors, and fuel trim corrections fight against the controller's modifications. Expect erratic AFRs, check engine lights, and a higher risk of lean conditions that damage engines. If you need richer fueling, get injectors, a pump, and a proper tune rather than a universal controller. But crude fuel controllers aren't the only modification that can destroy your engine in seconds. Number 18. Nitrous without proper tuning. The instant engine grenade. Nitrous oxide takes that destruction to another level entirely. Nitrous delivers explosive power gains instantly, but it destroys engines just as fast when installed wrong. One badly tuned nitrous setup can grenade your motor in seconds, not miles or months. The power potential is addictive. Nitrous can add tens to low hundreds of horsepower, depending on the kit. The failure mode is catastrophic. Nitrous-related engine damage happens faster than any other modification disaster. Turbo failures take time. Bad tunes kill engines over weeks. Nitrous destroys pistons, rods, and crankshafts in one pull when the tune is wrong. Safe nitrous use requires matched fueling enrichment, timing retard, proper jet sizing, and professional dyno tuning. Without those, nitrous can instantly destroy pistons and rods. The system must add extra fuel to match the oxygen from nitrous decomposition. Without proper fuel enrichment, the engine runs dangerously lean and melts pistons instantly. Timing advance becomes deadly because nitrous increases cylinder pressure dramatically. Cheap components and amateur installations create disaster conditions. Leaking solenoids, incorrect jet sizing, and improper activation create unpredictable power delivery that breaks engines. Professional nitrous system design and dyno tuning are mandatory for safe operation. Skip the professional setup and your engine becomes expensive scrap metal. If you're tempted by nitrous, get a dyno map kit from a reputable vendor and have a pro tune it. But nitrous isn't the only mod that seems like pure performance, but creates unexpected problems. Number 19. Straight pipe exhaust. The legal nightmare that hurts performance. Straight pipes create their own set of disasters. Straight pipes seem like the ultimate performance mod. Remove every restriction and let the engine breathe completely free. That logic sounds perfect until you realize it actually hurts performance and lands you in legal trouble. Completely straight piping removes the back pressure and scavenging that help low-end torque and can make the car feel gutless below mid-range. Most areas have noise limits and strict inspections. Straight pipes often exceed legal limits and can lead to tickets or failed inspections. Straight pipes easily hit extreme noise levels that draw unwanted attention from law enforcement and neighbors. You can face fines and failed inspections that make your car undrivable. Proper exhaust design uses back pressure and gas velocity to create scavenging that improves cylinder filling. Straight pipes eliminate this effect and actually reduce power output. The excessive noise doesn't mean better flow. It usually indicates poor exhaust velocity and wasted energy. Low-end torque suffers badly with straight pipes because there's no back pressure to help exhaust gas movement at low RPM. Your engine feels gutless below 4,000 RPM and struggles with drivability. If you want max power with street legality, invest in a performance exhaust engineered for flow and tuned to your build rather than straight piping. Choose a system that balances flow and noise control. Borla and Corsa systems deliver real performance gains without the legal headaches. But even worse than loud pipes are the electronic shortcuts that promise instant power with zero effort. Number 20. Generic engine chips, computer viruses for your car's brain. Generic performance chips represent the worst of these shortcuts. These devices promise instant horsepower with zero effort. Plug them into your OBD port, watch the power numbers climb, and drive away with a faster car. No dyno time, no custom tuning, no expensive shop visits. Just plug and play performance for under $100. The marketing makes it sound foolproof. Generic chips apply one-size-fits-all parameter changes, can corrupt ECU calibrations, and in some cases brick the unit, resulting in expensive replacements. Modern ECUs have security and vehicle-specific calibrations that generic chips often don't respect. When chips force crude parameter changes, they can corrupt the ECU's operating system and turn your engine computer into expensive junk. These devices ignore every vehicle-specific calibration your manufacturer spent years developing. They apply universal modifications to engines with different compression ratios, fuel systems, and airflow characteristics. Your engine needs precise tuning for its specific setup, not cookie-cutter adjustments. Universal chip modifications work like sledgehammers compared to proper custom tuning. They blast crude fuel and timing changes without considering your engine's actual needs or safety limits. These chips void warranties immediately and create long-term reliability problems. ECU replacement costs thousands when generic chips damage the computer. If you want plug-and-play improvements, use proven platforms and trusted tuners rather than inexpensive chips. The difference between shortcuts and smart choices determines whether your modifications succeed or fail catastrophically. Performance modifications done right transform your driving experience and protect your investment. Quality parts, proper installation, and professional tuning deliver real gains that last. Shortcuts, like cheap eBay turbos and generic chips, destroy engines and waste money. The 14 mods we covered build reliable power when installed correctly. The 6 engine killers we exposed cost thousands in repairs when done wrong. Your car deserves better than gambling with bargain parts. Invest in proven components from reputable manufacturers. Get professional tuning for major modifications. Do it right the first time and enjoy the performance gains for years.